preparations for another night of rioting and looting in Los Angeles as we take a look, if we have it, of a live shot downtown L.A. just after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you see a lot of LAPD lined up here. They now have a lot of support tonight. And one thing is abundantly clear. The White House's decision to send in the troops has certainly worked. Certainly worked last night. It was quieter last night. Today, Trump is being scorched by Democrats and their media allies for the supposedly unprecedented decision to send in the National Guard and now Marines to nip another summer of rioting in the bud before it gets completely out of control. But you can't argue with the results. Do you want to see this go on for 2 or 3 months? Because that's what they want, of course. The LAPD, though, supported by the National Guard last night, were able to arrest 113 rioters and looters. As expected, this is starting to spread, what we're seeing right now. We knew this was going to move into other cities as this dark money pours all throughout the country to manufacture all of this outrage to try and stir up politics and to make this politically disadvantageous for the president. Rumors of protests in other American cities tonight, including in Texas. We'll see how far this goes, but check out this video. If you really want to be disgusted, check out this video from Omaha, Nebraska today.
Get back. Get back. Get back.
Hey, that was a
Get
team.
back. Get back.
Hey, you guys. You.
Look at the entitlement that we have created by destroying the sovereignty of our country for 4 years, allowing millions of people to just pour in. They now expect that to be the way America is, a completely borderless society. And now this is the result when we return, because we have to return to common sense immigration policies. You're going to see that. Hispanic American kids in Nebraska spitting at immigration officers, cursing at them. We had to blur out or bleep out so many disgusting words from these kids, blocking them from enforcing the law and doing their job, and then screaming in outrage as they push the SUV forward with them on the hood. What are you doing? What the hell do you think they're doing? They're going to work. You're standing in the middle of a road trying to block officers from doing their job. You should try this kind of nonsense in the nations that you or your parents fled from. You'd be shot. And they know they'd be shot. But here, of course, it's very easy to be an instigator like this. You're celebrated by the Democrat Party as a hero. Some of these kids will probably be on MSNBC tonight. Take a look at this Hispanic man in this video here. And this picture actually made the cover of the New York Post. Look at these guys burning the American flag and spitting on it. Where did you flee from, I wonder? Why are you here? If it's so awful, get the hell out. We will gladly buy you a one-way ticket anywhere you want to go. We had a young woman in LA drive her motorcycle right into LAPD officers, using it as a deadly weapon to try and run them over. How impressive is the restraint by the LAPD, though? Look at this. Resisting the urge to turn their batons into baseball bats as she tries to run them down. That's impressive restraint. Those guys deserve an award. And then, of course, there's the looting, which, of course, is a critical part of any American protest these days. You got to steal a bunch of sneakers. The president today at Fort Bragg telling it like it is. The far left has decided that America can no longer have immigration laws.
These are animals, but they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag. They only burn it. Did you see a lot of the flags being burned? They're engaged in this willful attempt to nullify federal law and aid the occupation of the city by criminal invaders. That's what it is. They're invaders, no different. Their position is that the rioting will not stop unless ICE withdraws from Los Angeles and ceases the enforcement of federal immigration law.
The rioting won't stop unless ICE ceases the enforcement of immigration law. That's basically what's on the table. That's what Democrats want to happen. You can't deport anybody anymore. We can bring in as many as we want. You can't get rid of them. Clearly, Democrats have realized how horrific the optics of all this are, though. That's, I guess, some of the good news. Americans watching burned out cars and Latino Antifa members waving Mexican flags as they destroy the city that adopted them. The optics are terrible. So the new talking points are that the protests are peaceful, but there's just a few bad agitators and anarchists that are trying to take advantage of this moment with looting and violence.
When there is a gathering, a large gathering of people, the anarchists see it as an opportunity and they move in. So always have to be careful whether you see a burned car or broken window or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment, but it may be the anarchist setting in.
These guys, these idiots that are jumping up on cars, that are burning these Waymos, these people, that's a disgrace. Mm-hmm. And the impact they're having on our democracy, there's a lot at risk here.
Yeah, except for that, the same money that funds their campaigns, that they live and breathe off of, is being used to supply full face shields and all sorts of other goodies for these rioters and looters that they want you to think are largely protesters. But of course they have to turn their back. They know exactly what these protests are. They know what they're signing up for. They want to see this happen. They just know they can't cheer for it anymore. They can't cheer for it like they could in 2020. In 2020, they just let it go. They didn't condemn anything. Now they have to condemn a little bit because the United States is in a different place. We're tired of watching our country be destroyed by the Marxist left, the same people that elect all the people you just heard talking. It's a losing battle for Democrats, but over at MSNBC, Rachel Maddow wants you to believe that the manufactured outrage we're seeing, and this is manufactured, that these organic protests, they like to call them, which are being put together with piles of dark money, they want you to believe that this is all a sign that the larger group of Americans, that the American people more broadly, actually want open borders. Despite the last election, we really do want open borders, and we want no deportations. Take a listen to this from Maddow.
Somebody convinced this president that attacking immigrants would work for him politically. Somebody convinced him that the American people would be bloodthirsty about that we'd love it, that the crueler he was to immigrants, the more political capital he would accrue. Instead, what we are seeing is the opposite. In town after town, in blue states and red states, in school after school, in parish after parish, in city after city, it has run him into a wall. Because the American people do not want this kind of cruelty against the immigrants who live among us and are our neighbors and friends.
Yeah, everybody's coming together to save the 20 million illegals that Biden brought in. It's a huge coalition of all Americans going against Trump. Right. Have you looked at the immigration polling? The Democrat Party has an army of protesters waiting for instruction at any time. We've learned this now. We know this game. This is all just a game. There will always be a couple million unemployed, angry, pissed off socialists in this country that couldn't figure it out and want free goodies. You're always going to have that faction in this country. They're always going to be there, and they're ready to do it at any time because they don't do anything all day long. You only need a few thousand of them, the radicals, to create the illusion that we've created right now. It's all smoke and mirrors, and most importantly, in no way is it representative of a restless nation over immigration. People want to see this happen. They certainly want the people that came in illegally and then committed crimes out. And a nice subsection of America wants everybody out if you've come in illegally. We have enough. No matter how badly they want you to believe that this is organic, it's not. We were duped by this during George Floyd. They fooled us with thousands marching in multiple cities and nonstop media coverage. It worked 5 years ago, but we haven't forgotten the damage of that most recent left-wing grift. We haven't forgotten what defunding the police did to this country. There's very little chance that this is going to convince Americans to do the same with immigration. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.